Will we be able to work together to defeat the amalgamation of Jufa and Taufa? Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So, that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host, Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Hell's Paradise, Season 2, Episode 8 or 9? You'll see it in the title of the video. It's like, I've talked about this before, but I hate it when, like, some of these anime label it on the sites and stuff as, like, Episode 22. It's like, just tell me what the fucking episode it actually is. This isn't Episode 22. It's Season 2, Episode blah, blah, blah. This is not the same season. It is a separate season. Don't call it Episode 22. But yeah. Last episode, we had the continued fights, the brothers versus Jufa, and Blade Dragon and Fuchi taking on Taufa. And eventually, Blade Dragon and Fuchi were able to get one up on Taufa, and were able to, like, especially mostly Blade Dragon, able to actually do real damage. We also got the backstory of these two, and find that Taufa and Jufa are actually the most innocent of the Tensen, at least in terms of the fact that they're not, like, as, like, corrupted as the others. When Rien went bad, the others kind of fell in line, it seems like, really easily. But Taufa and Jufa didn't. Taufa it was a lot more caring, felt bad for the people they were, using for their Tau and whatnot, using for their overall goals. And Jufa was like all in there with them. But then it's like we saw that Taufa had put on that mask, had like done this purely for the sake of surviving and purely for the sake of, not losing their mind over all the pain that this was causing them. And Jufa, like, fell in with them in order to protect them, because that's all Jufa really cares about. These two may have been made for each other literally, but their love for each other is real. They chose each other. They made it their own, even if they were originally preordained to be that way. They still, with their free will, chose each other. And it shows them to be human, more human than any of the other Tensen we've seen. And so now, in the current fight, they've fused together to create their transformed state. Their transformed state relies on each other and merges them together. And there's always kind of the question of like, would they be able to be saved? Would they be able to be like somehow turned against the rest of the Tencent? And the answer I just think is no. As much as we would like to believe it, it's like they're not at a point where they're going to be like redeemed or anything. They're unfortunately not that human. As human as they are, and as much as they're not as corrupted, they're still at a point where they're not going to be able to be turned around like that. And they're definitely not going to betray the other Tencent. Not to mention, think about who they're facing. Fuchi, Blade Dragon, the brothers, none of them are going to try to convince them to change their ways. This is a fight to the death, and it's going to be to the death. Taofa and Jufa were definitely the most innocent of the Tencent, but they are going to die. And yeah, it sucks to a degree, because you could have absolutely seen them if they were facing someone like Sagiri, or even to a degree, Gabimaru. Maybe there being a chance. Maybe if Mei was there, maybe there would be a chance. But it's not the case. And I'm just hoping that they are able to find peace in death. Be away from all this strife and pain and sorrow and fear. And just be together in death as they would want to be. That's like the best case scenario. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how this goes. It's a really weird situation where I'm not actually rooting for the quote-unquote heroes of the story here. I'm not actually rooting for Blade Dragon and Fuchi and Chobei and his brother, who I can never remember the name of. I'm not actually rooting for them, but I'm not rooting against them either. It's one of those cases where I just know what's going to happen. Taofa and Jufa are going to be defeated and killed. And that's just how it is. And it's a case where I'm sad about it to a degree after having heard this backstory for them. But I also acknowledge that it needs to happen. There's no other way for any of this to work out. But then, on the other hand, we have the other Simon and the ninja and all of them heading this way, and now they're riding monsters, because of course they are. They're going to get here a lot quicker. Gabimaru and Yuzuriha are still in the middle of their fight. We haven't caught back up really with that yet. All the other characters are still, like, doing their shit. It's like, it's just a very stressful time. There's just a lot going down. But I guess we should just see what happens. We should just watch more to find out exactly how this goes down. So let's get into it and hope for the best. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, this made me cry. I was not prepared for that. I'm going to talk about the ending first real quick, though. We see a little bit of Shion and Nuragai's fight. We see that Shion has managed to kill um the Tencent they're against. I don't remember all the names, but it's like it was like 215, but then there was another one we saw, so 216 times. The regeneration is slowing. The Tencent is clearly kind of annoyed, but it is doing something. They're going for kind of a battle of attrition, and again, I I might be remembering wrong, but I thought it was saying before that Nuragai was the hindering Tau against the Tencent they were going to be facing. So again, maybe the idea is to weaken and slow the regeneration enough to where Nuragai would be able to get in there and land the killing blow. But we see that Shion is exhausting himself to the point of like his light is starting to fade. The tag was starting to burn up, and it's like basically the same imagery as Ace's Beaver card in One Piece burning up and fading and getting smaller as his life is getting closer to being snuffed out. It's pretty dark imagery. And so I'm very curious as to what they're going to do going forward with this. I'm very curious as to like if the creator of this is going to kill off Shion. I could see one or two other characters dying, but Shion, it's like, really? Like, he's lost so much. He lost his pupil. A couple pupils. He had to kill one of them in the past. And then Nuragai also already lost the other character. I can't remember his name right now. So it's like both of them have already lost, and it's like I don't want either of them to have to lose again, and I don't want like Shion to have to die and leave Nuragai practically alone. I mean, yeah, she has the others in the group, but it's just I don't want Shion to die. If anyone's gonna die, I just don't want it to be Shion. But moving back towards the main core of this episode. Oh, actually, let's go back. Let's actually work our way back. So we have Sagiri and Mei talking to Guifa, who is more diplomatic and just willing to talk, but not willing to actually be swayed. Because their view on it is like, they just fell in line. This is just the case. And we can see that, like, yeah, all of the other Tencent outside of Taofa and Jufa have completely fallen in line with Rien's plans. It was just those two and Mei who are holdouts. Those are the only Tencent who are not corrupted. And now there's only one, so it was very interesting to see the conversation between Sagiri and Guifa, as well to see Guifa's Genjutsu. Which is directly what was said, maybe not in the subtitles, but literally that is what they said. It was very interesting to see how, like, the plans that they had, which we already knew about, but seeing Sagiri react to it and everything. Yeah. But the meat of this episode was Taofan, Jufan, the finish of that fight. We got to see our four main characters like work really well in tandem together. We see how Toma has joined Chobe like on equal footing now, and how Chobe is like very much clearly proud of his brother. We see how all of them are agreeing, even if they have issues with each other, they're agreeing to work together to do this. And they do so mostly very well. They're not perfect, but let's be honest, it's kind of new for them. Also, Fuchi just kind of almost fucked up as well. But they managed to do well enough to where they are able to take them out. And at first it seems like they're just going to die separate, but then you see they actually do get closure with each other. You see they do have an actual sad send-off, and it made me cry. It's like that got me. because you care. It makes you care about these two. Like, the other Tencent are just, villains. Except for May. Again, May is an exception. We almost don't count her as a Tencent. The other Tencent, though, are all villains. But Jufa and Taofa are just trying to protect and be with each other, out of pure love and just desire. And we see like their backstory and everything, and it's just, again, there was really no way of like redeeming them. It just wasn't going to happen. But I really like that Blade Dragon found enough to respect about them, and that he gave Taufa's peach to Jufa's chrysanthemum, I think it was. I think that's the correct flower. I might be entirely wrong on that, but he put them beside, he put the peach beside it in the end as a sign of respect, and like showed that he had actually grown to like understand them to a degree. Like, he was always going to fight them, he was always going to try and defeat them. Like, that's how he is. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have respect for them. And I think that little sign at the end was just really cool, and really shows him in a little bit of a different light than we've seen him in before. It was actually kind of beautiful. So them getting to like to pass into death beside each other together, like that was the best case scenario we could have hoped for. It was still sad, but at least they were together in the end. It's just, I didn't think, like, again, outside of May, not counting May, that this series was going to make me this, like, care this much for any of the Tencent. Because when I was watching last season, again, outside of May, who I think we only found out was like one of them at the end, pretty much. We only see the Tencent as villains. We only see them as creepy, weird, like just unnatural creatures, pretty much. And then in this season, we start to develop them a lot, like a lot. And even outside of like just Taufa and Jufa, like the others get distinct personalities, character traits, interests, etc. And yeah, a lot of it was assigned to them, like as to what like training they've been doing. But you can tell that it was assigned based on their interests and what they like already enjoyed doing. So there is a reason for it. And either way, getting to focus on their personalities, getting to see their character, just really develops them in a way that makes them such fascinating and well like written villains. They're genuinely excellently crafted. And I really appreciate what the mangaka has done with the storytelling here, and how the anime has enhanced that with great visuals, sound design, like amazing animation, fantastic voice acting. It's like all of it has really just elevated this so much more. This series is like absolutely like just a real treat. And it's so underrated. Like, it does have its fans. I have heard people talk about it, but compared to other shows that are going on currently, it's like there's so many other shows that are talked about like so constantly. And some of them very well deserved, like Freerin. But Hell's Paradise just slips under the radar. And having this release again in the same season that Freerin season 2 and other big stuff is releasing, it's just like it just really dooms this to not getting the attention and love it deserves. I really feel like this should have been a bigger series, and it just never got the opportunity to be so. Hopefully more people are able to discover it over time because it's one of the best modern shonen by far. Like, I would genuinely say this is better than Jujutsu Kaisen. I would. I would say that this is better than Undead Unluck, and I love Undead Unluck. I would say this is better. And depending on where this season goes, it could reach even greater heights. So we'll have to see. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.